Welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take another quick look here at the Jasmy price chart. I believe that we're in the last very few days where we're going to be seeing this Jasmy price at a very cheap like this, because I mean everything else that we have needed for a bull market is right in our hands at this point. I mean, I'll be showing you all those charts and indicators that we have today, and one is specifically screaming that any moment is actually go time here for the Jasmy price. Obviously, there are going to be some people saying, okay, it's a scam coin, it's an S-word coin, whatever the case may be. But we have, of course, seen time and again in the past that when most market participants give up, that's exactly when you see the price really pushing towards the upside and leaving almost everybody in the dust. So that's the kind of message that I have here for you today, and I'll back it up with some data and previous history that we have seen on this price. But before we start, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It will tell the YouTube algorithm that yes, this video is short but straight to the point, and that's exactly what you need in this moment right there. So if you're also new to the channel and you want to be seeing more and more of these Jasmy updates on a regular basis, just feel free to subscribe. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So what you see here is the Jasmy price at right below here, and on top we've got the Ethereum price. These charts pretty much move in tandem. When Ethereum is dropping towards the downside, we see Jasmy pretty much doing the same thing. When they decide to rally towards the upside, we also see, you know, the rallies coming in very much closely in confluence by them. Obviously, Jasmy exaggerates those moves in either direction, right? So if Ethereum is pumping, Jasmy is pumping maybe 3 times that. And if Ethereum is dumping, we also anticipate Jasmy to dump even much more. Now, we're not thinking about a dumping situation here, because what we have is Ethereum in all-time highs here. So we've got one of the best indicators right there, indicating that sooner rather than later, Jasmy is just going to be following in here, because that's actually what has happened 90% of the time in any, walk of life that you are in. Whenever you want to make a decision, you want to go with something that happens much more, right? Something that is much more guaranteed. That's the same thing that we are doing here with the Jasmy price, that we have got almost a 90% correlation, positive, with Ethereum. And looking at probability here, we've got 90% chance that Jasmy follows in and does what Ethereum is doing right there. So we're looking quite safe with that indicator. And that's not all. If we take a look at where Jasmy is sitting versus the Bitcoin price, this is an all-time low support, and you expect bounces to show up when you hit support levels, right? Now, this is also very serious, because at the worst case scenario, we probably anticipate that Jasmy goes on to hit the first resistance, which is right around like 370% away. I think that's massive. And then, of course, we are looking at like the best that it can do. In my eyes, I think it's right around like a 750, 730% thereabout, which is also okay, meaning that we are saying that if Bitcoin goes and does a 50% from where it's sitting right now, we'll be anticipating a Jasmy to go ahead and do something like an 11x or something like that against the United States dollar. This is quite an important ratio, and we're going to keep monitoring it. I'm not saying that Jasmy can only do 11x from now, but I'm just giving an example of how Jasmy can do versus the Bitcoin price in a very limited window. And we have actually seen this time and again. Now, one thing that actually prompts me to say that we're going to be seeing Jasmy pump very much quickly again is the Bitcoin dominance. I have talked about this in the past, but it's undeniable at this point. We're below 59%. And this is one of the conditions that I've been saying, that once we break that, we're going to be seeing almost a straight line towards the downside here for the Bitcoin dominance. Now, this obviously means that Jasmy and a lot of other altcoins are going to be pumping, because these things are inversely correlated. Now, where do I get the idea that this thing goes almost in a straight line? Well, if we look at the previous altcoin seasons, these things, they don't tend to last very long, right? This one was almost like, I would say, 40 days, 50 days thereabout. You can see how straight this thing just capitulated and altcoins let loose during that moment. That is, of course, the same thing that happened in 2017, where you see this whole thing just capitulating all of a sudden. So I'm very much excited, because once this thing starts unraveling, it happens very much quickly. What it also means is probably that financial freedom is very much close by here for Jasmy holders, and basically altcoin holders in general. So this is a moment in which I'm not really worried and trying to pinpoint each and every single move here on Jasmy, because I think that the big one is the one that is eventually going to be showing up right there. So I wouldn't be scared of like a minus 10%, for example, if it shows up. But even in that moment, I don't think we're going to be seeing that. I think a lot of people are going to be left in the dust, because so much people have given up, right? This thing has taken a very, very long time. Now, one of the other things that we usually talk about on the channel, these falling wedges, and I say they've got like a more than 66% chance of hitting their price targets, but on Jasmy especially, they have worked pretty well, right? So you can see this one here technically didn't hit its price target, but I think that it's still going. Maybe this was just a back test, but we've got that falling wedge, which also turned out to be very much positive. We've got this one right there. Of course, I mean, you can go back as far 2024, 2023. You see that the falling wedges generally on Jasmy turn out to be great. And I mean, if you also take a look at the 50 daily moving average, this is the thing that we have said time and again makes or breaks the bull market here for Jasmy. And in my very last update, I was saying that, look guys, yes, we are below that 50 daily moving average right there, but the context in which we are in with bigger market participants, Ethereum, the stock market, Bitcoin, and everything else, I remember I said that exactly. I don't think that being below the 50 daily moving average is really something that matters, and all of a sudden back, boom, we are above that 50 daily moving average once again. So officially we are back in bullish territory here for Jasmy. And I want you to notice something with this specific price action that we have on Jasmy. Maybe I can make use of a different chart because those falling wedges are very important. I don't want to be losing them, but I mean that ever since we found the bottom for Jasmy, we have also developed a range which we can see that there is resistance right there, right? But you see that this was a dump of right around like 60%, we would call it. And once we got back to the resistance, we dumped one more time here, which is right around like 49%. So an improvement right there. Then of course we got rejected one more time, and you can see that we dumped right around like a 30%. Now you can already see that the bears are losing momentum right there. Obviously the price got rejected one more time and then it dumped like 28%. So there is a clear momentum shift in my opinion that the bears are losing strength right there. And we always say this time and again that once you hit on a support or resistance level over and over again, that's also the weaker it becomes. And you can see that we have hit it one more time, 2 times, 3 times already. If we go for this other time here, it's going to be the 4th time, and this thing is likely going to be falling, and we eventually create something like this, which leads the Jasmy price to go ahead and break. I would say, in my opinion, 9 cents is looking like the first initial price target that we have right there. But then again, I go as far as 23 cents, and at best I'm looking at Jasmy right around 32 cents. We will talk more about this in future videos, but I just wanted you to know that in the context of the bull market or alt season, I think that we're officially there, right? It's just going to be a matter of days, in my opinion. We also have got, if you didn't notice, a specific narrative, right, that the Fed is going to be cutting once we get to September the 13th. And I think that it would not be very crazy to see the market actually rally very strongly leading up to 17th of September. Then maybe after that we can see the market pull back or dump, even because we have seen what happens time and again when we've got a major event in the market. The market just usually front runs that whole thing, and then when the event eventually comes, it's going to be looking too good. So I'm very much open to surprises here for the Jasmy price as the rest of the crypto market, because we have seen magic moments here for Jasmy. I can point to this where you see Jasmy rising like 370% in a matter of a few days. We also had pretty much the same thing right here, rising like about 500%. And also this one maybe not as big, but you can see that this is almost like a 200% in a very short space of time. Jasmy has done this in the past. I'm sure that it can repeat the same things over and over again. So don't be the person who's going to be left here by the train. I really think that a lot of people are in disbelief at the moment and are going to be left in the dust, right? So that's pretty much it today. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and then I'll see you on the next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.